and those who are listening us behind the screen, the family of Punjab University. From my core of the heart, I conveyed my namaskar, pranam, my best wishes to all of you. Hope you are in safe and in good health because of this ongoing pandemic situations created by the virus SARS-CoV-2 causing the disease COVID-19. So this unfortunate situation, even though we are opportunate to meet and share our thought processes, whatever is given by Sri Sri Anandamurti ji, Sri P.R. Sarkar, in his scientific presentations of various discourses in microbiome. So everywhere the virus, the bacteria, all living entity, I am looking at Professor Misra's background was very nice. The trays, full of trays, chair, table, etc., everything. According to Sri P.R. Sarkar, what he said that atoms, neutrons, protons, electrons, all are the veritable expressions of same supreme consciousness. So that means it gives us a glimpse that everything is made up of a single entity. Everything, today's perspective and today's knowledge of science, philosophies, few philosophies said that everything is made up of particles. Physics came up with the minutest entity as quark. However, few questions I will just place before you on the basis of the findings of during the evolution of universe as well as in the life form. So I'll just quickly go to few of the questionnaires further and I'll try to understand those questions in light of Sri P.R. Sarkar's microbiome theory. And at last I will give a glimpse of message related to the COVID-19 pandemics. Can you see my slides? Can you see my slides?
Not now. Maybe it is just uploading. Not as of now we can see anything.
Okay. Now it is okay?
Nah. No.
Okay.
No.
No, madam?
No.
It is now okay? Hello?
It's showing the profile picture, not the slides. Maybe Piyush, can you be of some help?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Sorry for the interruptions. I am starting without slide. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So, what I had started that all the matters are made up of certain particles as per the physics law. The universe, evolution of the universe, if you look into it, each descriptive way is given by Big Bang theory, which tells that quark and the other particles. Later on, the physicists have discovered that quark is the ultimate particles, that is the universal building block. Now, if you go to the Big Bang theory, at the time of Planck time, what is called is 10 to the power minus 43 second. During that time, what was there within the universe, that was not answered by the Big Bang theory. Big Bang theory took care of the universe evolution after the Planck time, when the temperature was too high and it's go to the expansion, the universe is expanding now also, and come to a stage where the matter is formed. From the quark, electron, proton, neutron, and then atom has come off in the universe. However, if you look into the compositions of universe today, we could see that there is only 5% matter, that is descriptive matter, which we can look into it or which comes under the experimental observations. The 27% dark matter is till today is unanswered, the characteristics of the dark matter or the dark energy, or the problem universe is so anisotropies of the night sky than those observed. So these are the cosmological problems were not solved till today. Afterwards, the physicists told that quark is the universal building block of the matter, whether it is the minutest particle in the universe, or we can find other sub-minute or subtle particles in the universe which can be considered as a universal building block of matter. So searching for that unified theory, if we look into the microvitum theory, what is proposed by Sri P.R. Sarkar, we'll come onto that process to know what microvitum is and how we can place that this could be the subtlest particle and could be treated as a universal building block, which again need the experimentation. The initially the unified forces was there before Planck time, 10 to the power minus 43 second, and afterwards that unified gravitational field, that is supergravity, is being broken to 4 total number of forces: gravitational forces, electromagnetic forces, and strong and weak nuclear forces. So then the waves come together, annihilate to make the wave, means energy particles, means the photons annihilate together to give the atom. So this is the history, and the questions till today are unanswered regarding the cosmological problems. Now coming to the real life problem. What is the life and how life is evolved into the universe or into the mother nature or earth? During the universe evolutions, before 4.6 billion years, earth atmosphere was not up to the mark to form a life. Only few gases were present: carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrogen and nitrogen. And from there, life has come up. The several theories are there, where the best current theory says that the life evolutions is due to the organic soup or primordial soup. It contains carbon dioxide, hydrogens, nitrogens, and several other gases. And composed of those gases at very particular temperature and pressures were experimented by, which is popularly known as Miller-Urey experiment in 1950, was done to show that yes, these gases of the primitive earth can generate the building blocks of protein molecules. The protein molecules are the functional molecules of all living entity in the universe. Protein molecules, not only the human, all living entity in the universe. But the amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, the amino acids only could be synthesized from the organic soup or the primordial soup. How to have that protein molecules? Now, if protein can be also synthesized from the primordial soup, that means the organic chemistry is going to the biological chemistry. How transformations of organic chemistry can lead to the biological species? That was the questions. To do that, to have the protein, you must have to have the genetic material. From today's knowledge, we must have to have the genetic material, DNA and RNA. Without RNA, no species in the world is there to produce the protein. So how RNA has come into picture from this primordial soup? This is again the question put forth. Now the small organic molecules, though experimented, those have no handedness. Those small molecules never maintained a handedness. But the large biomolecules, the DNA or RNA, has the handedness, particular handedness, helicity or the chirality. How this came into picture from the non-chiral or chiral small molecules, the right handedness, how is evolved, and who the catalyst catalyzed the process of polymerization. Say for example, DNA has also a basic building block similar to protein. Amino acid is the building block of protein. Similarly, DNA or RNA has the building block nucleotides. So those nucleotides has to sum up together. The polymerization process has to carried out by some catalyst to give the large biomolecules, DNA or RNA. Who is the catalyst? Then again, concept theories come up. RNA world hypothesis is accepted that it is the RNA first formed to give to catalyze those process. Because of what? The put back knowledge from today's knowledge, scientists tried to explain the catalysis of the primitive age to explain the life evolution. So today we know that RNA can catalyze some reactions, some polymerization reactions. With that knowledge, we go back to explain those sorts of things. But how again is the problem with that logics. So therefore, the questions remains again that how primitive cell developed its skins, what collectively linked the components in the first living cell. To address those sorts of things, scientists, even everybody understood that there is a gap in answering all sorts of questions of life evolution. So, who is the catalyst is the major challenge to address in the biological sciences. Whether the microbiome, when we come into it, whether the microbiome can be the catalyst, can accelerate the process of forming DNA, RNA from the small molecule. So all living entity, as I told, made up of universal building block, and whether microbiome can be treated as a universal building block, which can also serve the purpose of a catalysis in biological sciences, as well as property of microbiome can be such that it can explain the quantum mechanical theories or the cosmological problems, whether it can explain such kind of problems. So in quest of that, the concept of microbiota was given by Sri P.R. Sarkar in 1986. So before going to that, if we come across the Brahma cycles, it says that from the cosmic consciousness, cosmic mind is formed, and from cosmic minds, matter is formed according to P.R. Sarkar's philosophical approach of universe evolution. And from that matter, the crude mind is being formed, and from that crude mind, the expressed mind or the unit mind is formed at the human level. And what he proposed that when humanity follow the path of sadhana, there the microbiota plays a role, which is positive microbiota plays a role to merge to the same cosmic nucleus. So putting forward that philosophical concept of universe evolution, if we think that there is three forces, tri-attributional forces of Prakriti can be considered as wave attributional properties. Those tri-attributional forces, when come together and bind the supreme consciousness, and then supreme consciousness expressed to give the cosmic minds. Those cosmic minds travel through the five fundamental factors: ethereal layer, aerial, luminous, liquid, solid, and those having the individual wavelengths, individual energies of those attributational factors. So in comparison to the physics, ethereal, say for example, sensory attributes is sound, physical structure is the universe, matter particle is special particle, and particle charges is unknown, force can be treated as a gravitational force. In solid case, sound, touch, vision, taste, smell, physical structure can be nucleus, matter particle can be as established is quark, and particle charges with the solid can be treated as a flavor, electric charge, and color, and forces is very strong. Matter, within the matter or the atom, the forces are very strong in solid. Now, so this can be compared with the process of this philosophical evolution, can be compared with the process of evolution of cosmology, So cosmology where did not answer that Planck's time, the philosophical concept can answer the Planck time was the force, supreme consciousness, and the attributional force can answer the quantum vacuum theory in quantum field theory to address that questions. Now the question is whether matter, mind comes within the matter, whether matter has a mind or not. So Priya Sarkar said that matter has mind as well as mind can be transmuted to matter, matter can be transmuted to mind. But the physicists or the materialists do not believe in mind and they consider that matter is a energy. So the sequence is that matter can give the consciousness, from matter to consciousness is the materialistic approach, but the consciousness, from the consciousness, metaphysical approach says that from the consciousness, matter is the, consciousness is the unique things and matter is the derivative. But materialists believe that consciousness is the derivative, matter is the unique things. So if we go to the 7 locus of the world, then consciousness and the energy can have a bipolarity. The consciousness at the top, the zenith position, and matter is the nadir positions. At the top or 7 layer, if we consider, the first core layer is the matter and the outermost core layer is the 7th layer is the consciousness, and where the consciousness is the pure consciousness is energy is dormant positions, and mind, the consciousness is dominant, energy is minimal, and in case of matter, consciousness is minimal and energy is maximal. So mind to matter, matter to problem paradox can solve many questions that in the theory of microvita. Now microvita means micros means small and vita means living entity, so small life. It, according to Priya Sarkar, it is the mysterious emanation of cosmic factor. Entities or objects which come within the realm of both physicality and psychic expressions which are smaller or subtler than atoms, electrons or protons, and in the psychic realm may be subtler than ectoplasm or its extra-psychic coverage. Endoplasm have been termed as microvita by Sri Priya Sarkar. What is its physical nature? The position of microvita is just between ectoplasm and the electron, but they are neither electron or nor ectoplasm. Microvita are born and die. We may interpret this metamorphically to mean that microvita are in a continual state of flux, that is continually emerging from and returning to the vacuum state. So microvita is more towards more towards the consciousness and the matter. It is a silver line between the matter and the consciousness or the ideas. Atom microvita exchange always occurs and microvita gives rise to the idea. So based on density, crude microvita, which coming within the scope of highly developed microscope, subtle microvita not coming within the scope of perception, subtlest microvita not coming within the scope of common perception but coming within the scope of special type of perception, which is actually the reflection of conception within the periphery of perception. Based on the nature, positive, negative microvita and neutral movement, they move through entire universe without any boundaries of atmospheric conditions, move through media. Any media it can move through. Now the microvita, and in the physical world, if we consider that matter has the symmetry axis, similarly we can consider that microvita has also an axis of symmetry. In that term, matter can be thought of two layers, one is crude layer and another is subtle layer, and thus atom can have also mind as per the theory of microvita by Pierre Sorka. So atom can have also mind. So in the ethereal space, microvita is traveling and microvita is giving rise to physical body. So microvita are the initial stage of matter. Microvita are transmuted into matter and matter is transmuted into microvita. Thus there is a two-way flask. According to Sri Pierre Sorka, matter particles such as electron and quark are not singular entities but rather condensation of innumerable microvita. So electron and quark are a condensation form of innumerable microvita. He clearly told that billions of microvita when condensed to give you atom. Microvita thus best be compared with the quantum vacuum and virtual particles. So microvita in the psychic arena, the relationship which exists between matter, microvita and ethereal space in the physical arena are extended to the psychic arena. We may interpret this step as an invocation of the principle of self-similarity. Therefore, in the ethereal space and in physical structure, crude microvita plays a role to give you the matter, and in the subtle microvita plays in the psychic realm. So when, similar to Feynman theory, two waves, electrons and positrons, collides together to give you the photons, give you the microvita and the matter and their 7 layers can be considered. The 5 fundamental factors can be considered the waves which are colliding, annihilating to each other to give you the matter, and thus these microvita are entering into this to give you the stability of the matter. So according to this, atom has mind. This idea is in accord with the organicist philosophies of the mathematician Alfred Whitehead. The only satisfactory solution would seem to be that mind is universal, present not only in all organisms and in their cells, but in their molecules, atoms, and elementary particles. Recently, Charles Birch, former professor of biology at University of New South Wales, summed up this idea. There is but one theory known to me that casts any positive light on the ability of brain cells to furnish us with feelings. It is that brain cells can feel. What gives brain cell feelings? It is by the same logic that we may say they are molecules, and so on down the line to those individuals we call electrons, protons, and the like. The theory is that things that feel are made of things that feel. So as we have understood that it has structure, it has life, it can die, the matter travel. Now the question is, if atom have mind, why do we not recognize it in a rock, for example, or in a bricks, for example? So answer is very simple. If we take an example of metaphor of a magnetized iron bar, each iron atom produces a small magnetic field, but they are not organized. They are electromagnetic waves are not organized to a particular orientations, not expressed properly in terms of philosophy. So unexpressed waves of electromagnetic waves from the magnetized iron cannot give that mind. In human beings, mind is an emergent property dependent on the coordinated structure, metabolism of trillions of constituent cells. Embedding mind in the subatomic world allows us to address two more materialistic anomalies: quantum uncertainty and organic life. So in quantum uncertainty, what Pierre Sorcar says that uncertainty principle is the ignorance, not really the uncertainty. Why? Because he has given example. So uncertainty principles, I think everybody knows that. Again, though, I am just reading out. We know everything about where a particle is located. If we know clearly, then we know nothing about its momentum. If we know the position clearly, we cannot know the momentum. What Sorcar says that most of the atomic research done until now has been done on the basis of the guessing method, because different stages of the atom and different constituent parts of the atom do not come under direct perception. They come within the arena of human concept. In Sorcar's theory, atomic structure is due to the billions of participating microvita, only some of which are detected with physical apparatus. So if all the microvita can be detected or all the particles can be detected, then there will be nothing called uncertainty. So clearly this is the reference to address the quantum processes, and then it can also address the life processes. Microvita can be understood as organizing principles integrated into the structure of atoms. They could also be considered the source of Alfred Rappaport-Seldar, who is a parapsychologist. He addressed that memory is inherent in nature and that natural systems inherit a collective memory from all previous things of their kind. He proposes that it is also responsible for telepathy type interconnections between organisms. This theory is nowadays the part of most recent, which is developmental biology. So now we can make up a tree, supreme consciousness, to approach from supreme consciousness to microvital energy, and in objectivity planes of inferences and planes of propensities. So microvita create minds and bodies and also destroy mind and physical bodies. The root cause of life can be treated as the microbiome, but not the unicellular protozoa or unit protoplasmic cells. So these viruses are also not exceptions from the having several of microbiome. Their effect is dangerous to the society. So there are also, as the atoms are a condensation product of many microbiome, therefore virions can be treated as a condensation products of many negative microbiome, because those virions are giving the problems to the society, to the human being, to the living entity. They have also their RNAs. Once they get attached to the host cell, the viruses were found as a poison in 1990. That is the first poison things that time people used as a poison, and afterwards they could not be detected until 1931 electrons microscope is discovered. Since then, the virus is evolving within the universe. The may be treated as a primitive life composed of again microbiome particles. So those viruses in 1989 in Ahmedabad, what I read from several literatures that Sri P.R. Sarkar gave an address that time several virus came into the atmospheres and gave deadlier effect to the society, and he pointed out that many more things will come in futures. You have to be prepared for that. So we witnessed SARS-CoV, we witnessed in 2002-2003 SARS-CoV, we witnessed MERS-CoV in 2012, we witnessed HCoV. Now we are witnessing since November 2019 first case in China, and then in India 2020 onwards, 2020 December, January onwards, we are experiencing the deadlier effect of SARS-CoV-2. SARS-CoV-2. So, and in 11th of March 2020, as you know all the story, I am just skipping, who announced that this is a pandemic. All over the world is suffering because of this poisonous effect, deadlier effect of this virus. Today, total cases in several countries, particularly in India, is 11 lakhs, more than 11 lakhs or 12 lakhs, and in USA, 40 lakhs. So, the symptoms, it gives immediate symptoms, everybody knows, though for recapitulating, mild symptoms, moderate symptoms, severe symptoms, it can lead to major disease is the lungs, it affects the lungs, and heart disease, kidney damage, as well as brain disease. Also it leads to brain disease because of the post-traumatic stress disorder or Alzheimer's disease. So there is no drug, no vaccine for these virus particles. Few well-known and very few drugs are available today. Innate immune system has to be improvised by each and every one in this today's scenario. So this immune system, everybody knows, I think. Again, I am just recapitulating this one. Just like a home guard, if home guard cannot do, then you have to bring the police force like that, or then military, and then other forces, top ranker forces you have to bring to safeguard your home or to safeguard your country. Similarly, your body, if you have to treat as a home, and home guard is there, innate immune systems, you have to keep strong that innate immune systems by, so this gives mainly the mental disease. Physical health is there, mental disease, as well as the economic problems of the society. In mental disease, fear is there, so too, because it is going through the chakras, several glands. It enters through nose, eyes, and mouths, travels downwards to the Visuddha chakra, and then go to the Anahata chakra, do its function. Anahata chakra is positioned within the lungs and heart nearby it, and it get attacked with this lungs. Therefore, so to get rid of deadlier effect of SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 disease, to get rid of mental disease or disorders, we must have to keep our innate immune system strong enough. How to do that? To do the meditations, yoga, and sentient foods. Sentient foods, meditation, and yoga can uplift your innate immune system is strong. So there is no vaccines till today. Few vaccines are in third clinical trials. They are having few 90%, 94% trials. From India, Bharat Biotech also they have discovered one vaccines which is also under third clinical trial. AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer and Moderna also has their own vaccines. But the problem is that those vaccines are also having problems, cannot tackle the virus because the virus properties, this particularly the SARS-CoV virus properties is so fluctuating, it's mutated so fast that it is very difficult to tackle by a single booster or single vaccines. It is very difficult to tackle all sorts of mutants, though maximum mutants can be tackled together. So people are trying their best, scientists are trying their best to get the vaccines, but do not wait for that. The pandemic, you have to come up by your own body systems, because there is no medicines. It is the medicines within yourselves at home. You can save your house by yourselves. Therefore, no need of to come outwards to invite outwards medicines. So the solution is that the ability of discrimination resides in the sidereal plexus or Anahata chakra. It is improved by positive microbiota, which can enter our system through the Sauramandala. Such emanations of cosmic factor can be invited by kirtan as well as meditative practices. They will certainly help to overcome the effect of the aforesaid attack or our mental health. So improving the positive microbiota within the body, the negative microbiota will balance, and more improving the positive microbiota can save you from the deadlier effect of SARS-CoV-2. Herd immunity factor came into picture in scientific scenario, but that also is 10% only fruitful. So once the second wave may come also, don't worry that first antibody, if it is produced, it remains only for 3 months. But don't be desperate that it may also come after 3 months. 3 months, whatever, if somebody attacked by SARS-CoV-2, 3 months antibody will work. It will not cause any harm even if SARS-CoV-2 enters your body. However, after 3 months, it can harm your body. So don't be desperate to follow who has given the guidance, or our Indian government is time to time giving the guidelines to be followed, as well as to maintain, to strengthen your innate immune system. You have to invite the positive microbiota within yourselves by keeping your body and mind sentient, practice yoga and meditation, grow more positive microbiota, and that is the only way to get rid of these pandemic situations. I hope that all of us will have that activities and will do everything to improve, to increase the number of positive microbiota within ourselves to fight against the pandemic. We should not wait for the medicines or for the vaccines to come up. Of the above mentioned entities, which ones are actually individual microbiota and which ones are simply collections of microbiota will have to be explored more in the future. However, it is clear, as P.R. Sarkar suggested, that microbiota are the root cause of life. They guide the processes through which new cells are born. They play a crucial role in the interactions between a cell and its environment. And finally, when it is time for a cell to die, they are responsible for decomposing that entity or removing themselves as being the ones who compose the entity. So, what in summary, the microbiome can solve the problems of cosmology, few problems, quantum uncertainty principles can be treated as ignorance because we cannot concentrate all the particles at the same time. We can ignore something, posing some conditions. The catalyst microbiome can be treated as a catalyst which catalyzes really to give rise to the biological macromolecules, the DNA, RNA, and proteins from their basic building blocks, though the basic building blocks were synthesized in nature. Then we can say that every atom has the mind. Exchange of microbiota within this matter can lead to mind within the atom. Similarly, the organized mind force, organized consciousness is not there in the inanimate materials. If they organized, they can lead to mind. Similarly, in our physical body, trillions of cells are functioning together. The coherence of those cells only lead to feelings or minds or consciousness. So with this, the microbiome can be treated as the basic building blocks of the universe. That means basic building blocks of the elements or matters, everything wherefrom we are today. To prove the theory of microbiome as the universal building block, we must start research immediately. Once established, all the scientific gaps can be resolved. Spiritually uplift scientists can do it easily for the generation of symbiotic society. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, though because of the problem or my ignorance, I took much of your time. Please excuse me for that. And namaskar. Thank you all. Keep your body and mind sentient. Practice yoga meditation. Grow more positive microbiota. Stay safe and healthy. Namaskar.
So, para some of we had